Hey, what's up? It's Tony from Street Church, and welcome to the Inside Job Podcast. Hey, the title of this week's episode is Be Like Joe. Don't worry, it'll make sense in a few minutes, hopefully. So if you're over a certain age like I am, you probably remember that commercial, Be Like Mike. It was a Michael Jordan commercial about I want to be like Mike. Well, at the end of this episode, I guarantee you, you're going to want to be like this dude, Joe, that we are going to talk about later on. I get the opportunity to go and visit people in addiction service programs and talk with them and mentor them. And I guess a few months ago, I was visiting one particular program, and I was talking to a guy, and he said to me, I see you pastors and you guys come up here and you do chapel services and you counsel us and you mentor us, and it seems like life is so easy for you guys, right? It seems like you don't have a lot of problems. And he said, I've been a Christian for years. I mean, I have my ups and downs with addictions, but I've been in the church for years, and it's hard. It's hard to do the right thing. It's hard to follow, Christ. It's such an uphill climb. And I said, listen, if any pastor has ever told you anything different, he's a liar. Don't listen to him. We all struggle. We all go through it. We all have things on our plate that we never ordered, right? We all do. And when I said that to him, immediately, it was like, that's all I needed to say. Just a reminder to him that we all go through things. You're not alone. You're not the first one who feels this way. You're not going to be the last one. We all do to a certain extent. And you're not alone in going through things that are tough, that you never ordered. We all do. And just when I shared that with him, you can see something lift. Like, oh, you too? You too feel that way sometimes? You too scratch your head like how could this be happening? You too scratch your head like, why did this happen to me? How could there be a loving God if this could happen to me? Is this whole thing real? Am I just making it up? No. Those thoughts go through all of our minds from time to time. We all struggle with things. We all go through things. You're not alone. There's a scripture. Well, first, the Apostle Paul. I mean, listen, he was shipwrecked. He was stoned. He was left for dead. He was in danger from robbers and from bandits. He was homeless. He was bit by a poisonous viper. And ultimately, he got his head cut off. I mean, the guy went through some stuff. And in the New Testament, he writes, in Corinthians, I think, he says this. He says, he writes, comfort people with the same comfort that you have received from the Lord. Comfort people with the same comfort that you have received from the Lord. That infers two things. Number one is you've been through some stuff. You go through some stuff. We all do. No one is alone. Number two, take whatever comfort, whatever benefits that God has poured in your lap from going through something. Whatever you have received that is good as a result of going through something, and pour it into somebody else's life. Share it with them in an effort to remind them that they're not alone, to remind them that they are valuable and important in spite of what they're going through, and to remind them that there's a way out. Let me help you get there. And that's so important to let people know. It doesn't end with just letting people know that you're not alone. We all go through things. It ends with pouring out the same comfort, the same help that we have received into other people's laps who go through similar situations, because we can relate to them. Now to the story of Joe, and I'll end with this. Be like Joe. So there was a guy, one day he was walking down the sidewalk and he fell into a pit, a giant pit. And it was so steep he couldn't get out of this pit. He sees a doctor walking by the pit. He says, "Hey, Doc, can you get me out of here?" So the doctor writes a prescription, he throws it down the hole, and he keeps on walking. A few minutes later, he sees a priest walking by. He says, "Hey, Father, can you help me out here and get me out of this pit?" The father writes out a prayer, he throws it down the hole, and he keeps on walking. Half hour goes by, an hour goes by, and nothing. Finally, he sees a good brother, a good friend of his from church named Joe walk on by. He says, "Hey, Joe, I'm stuck in this hole. Can you get me out of here?" Joe jumps down the hole. The guy goes, "Joe, what are you, crazy? Now we're both stuck in this pit together." And Joe goes, "Yeah, but I've been down here before, and I know the way out." That's the kind of people that we need to be. We need to go down in the same holes that we were once in and show the way out. One for the road. Don't be like Mike, be like Joe. And remember, count each day a new life. Hey, have a great week. I'll see you guys next week. God bless.